Hello and welcome to another Wednesday drawing session with me, Frank Cho. So let's get started. So I'm using my Pentel mechanical pencil and a kneaded eraser on the Strathmore Bristleboard Vellum Surface 300 series. So today I'm going to draw Wolverine. Someone in my YouTube channel commented that they wanted to see me draw Wolverine and ask and you shall receive. Wolverine is one of my favorite characters growing up. My favorite character is Spider-Man, and Wolverine's a really close second. So I grew up reading Spider-Man, Wolverine, Punisher, Conan. I love Conan, and Swamp Thing. So yeah, and so it's I've always, God, I have drawn Wolverine so many times over the years. It's kind of funny. So I jump straight onto it. So this is Wolverine lunging straight at you, which is a forced perspective, which is a tricky pose to do because you have to really understand your anatomy. So since the so you have to really be mindful of which part of the body is coming straight at you, and that's the part that you need to focus on. And so I really like Wolverine. Wolverine is the angriest Canadian that you have ever met. He's the one that broke the bell curve for the Canadians' behavior, because Canadians are very nice people, but Wolverine he isn't. He is like the angriest Canadian that you'll ever meet. I guess that's one of the appeal, because he is a kind of a anomaly, because he's just an angry guy. So I quickly laid out the pose. I mean, I've drawn this pose so many times that it's just comes second nature to me. And and again, you really have to know your anatomy. I learned my anatomy by looking at bodybuilding magazine. So I wrestled in high school, and my coach made us lift weights, and then I fell in love with lifting weights, and bodybuilding magazine was a regular reading source for me during those years. Yeah, and I still read a lot of bodybuilding stuff. So once you know your anatomy, this pose really comes really easy. And so I screwed up. I should have. I get so excited about drawing Wolverine that I just jumped straight ahead into it. But that's the thing about drawing. If you make a mistake, don't be afraid to erase it and start over. So my mistake was the Wolverine's head was about like 15% too small. So I had to like completely erase the head and start over. Now I've seen a lot of people fall in love with their drawings, and they get crippled by it. And when there's when something doesn't look right, and they don't want to like erase it and correct it because they love the drawing too much. So that's the part that you need to overcome if you want to be a good artist. Don't fall in love with your drawing. If there's a mistake, you fix it. You erase it and you fix it. And so like this is what the Harvey Dunn. This is a motto that I live by when I'm drawing and painting. Harvey Dunn just said it perfectly. Harvey Dunn was this famous illustrator and teacher. He was also one of the famous students from the Howard Pyle School. So Howard Pyle is the dean of illustration, and he was like one of the great illustrators of like 100 years ago. And Harvey Dunn was one of his famous students. Harvey Dunn, N.C. Wyeth, and all those guys. So Harvey Dunn, I just love what Harvey Dunn said. Harvey Dunn basically said, if it looks right, it's right. If it looks wrong, then it's wrong. So that's the motto that I live by when I draw something. So again, I screwed up on the head, and I erased it and started all over. And it's like, don't be afraid to make mistakes and erase it and correct the mistake. No one's perfect. So here I am drawing the head, and so the light source is coming from the upper right hand corner. So be mindful of that, and then you basically use that as where all the shadow falls. And so here I am drawing the arm cocked back, and as he's like leaping straight at you. And so the point there I'm illustrating where the shoulder and the collarbone and the trapezius muscle connect. That's the part I really love drawing. It's such a it's to me it's such a fun area to really draw, because like if you don't your anatomy, you gotta make that area look like crap. But if you know your anatomy, you can make it look really, really tight and sweet. Neil Adam, one of my favorite artists of all time, he just does that anatomy, the forced perspective where he's coming at you all the time so beautifully. I mean, and he really mastered that whole shoulder area. So the shoulder area comes in three muscle group. So I mean, not muscle group, but there are three large muscles in the shoulder. So you really have to be know your anatomy to figure that out, and then and put it on your drawing. So here I am. So I learned how to draw the veins in the arms in general from the bodybuilding magazine. So the little trick that I do is I kind of like darken that whole area and lightly pencil where the vein kind of comes down the bicep and branches out in the forearm. I do that by erasing the vein, and that makes the whole vein pop out as like it's in 3D. Same thing I did with the neck and the trapezius area. So I drew the carotid vein, carotid artery coming out, and how the skin kind of stretches out. And so, and just at this point, I'm just adding shadows. And here I am working on the other arm. It was putting the veins in. So I darken the whole area and lightly pencil how the vein will branch out, and then go in with my eraser and I erase it. And again, just makes the whole thing just pop out like in 3D. So this is really cool. I mean, like, the reason I chose this pose and this costume is I'm a big Wolverine fan during the Paul Smith era. So Paul Smith drew the classic brown and tan costume, something that I couldn't draw. I didn't draw during my stay at Marvel. I did the blue and yellow costume, which is fine, which is the original costume, but I'm a Paul Smith guy, so the brown and tan costume is the costume for me. That's the costume that I've always loved, and that costume is Wolverine for me. And so you have the glove is dark brown, the torso area of the costume is dark brown, and the boots is brown. And so it's really fun. And so this is like walking down memory lane, and I'm just working on the costume just from pure memory, because I've drawn that Wolverine in that costume forever. So here I am. So I'm measuring at the claw to make sure they're all in the same length. That's a common mistake that a lot of artists do. They draw the claw in different length. So I measure the claws out to make sure they're both right and the left side are the same length. And here I am adding the final touches, adding the shadows, the grimace, and all that, and just tightening things up. And there you go. Wolverine in the classic brown and tan costume, leaping right at you. I hope you enjoyed this drawing session.